All right. Hello and good morning, everyone. Good to see you here. Fairy Michelle, Anime. Hello there. The Moon's Pencil? The Moon's Pencil, huh? Good to have you guys here. My name is Paul Chiney. I'm an evangelist for Adobe, and I'm going to do some fun typography manipulations. So this is all about manipulating type, whether you're making a logo or if you're even just like designing a poster or book cover that's more type-based. And we're doing this all in Illustrator, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys are into it. Yeah, so we're going to have a good day. And yeah, I got my coffee ready. Let's jump on in. And again, I want to welcome you all. It is going to be a good day. Happy Friday, as some people mentioned. And that's why I actually typed this in. Happy Friday. I think it'd be fun just to take some simple statements and really manipulate them. So that is the goal. I'm also taking hints from you guys, just like I did in chat. Happy Friday, feel the love, smile. Just lots of positive phrases, right? I could see these as stickers, so they could be like Snapchat stickers, something like that, or Instagram story stickers. But just little phrases that could be pretty much anything. So happy Friday, into it. Feel the love, I'm into it. Yeah, let's get started. By the way, how am I viewing this? This is pretty new, but if you do a Shift F, this is presentation mode. Okay, and it's fairly new, and you can always find it right up here. Presentation mode will actually give you obviously presentation mode, because all too often we have all this junk off to the side, right? And imagine as if this was not. Maybe we don't want it to be actually, so it'd be a color typically, but again, just gets rid of all of that. So that's how I'll be displaying things to you guys, and let's dive into this, because this is going to be our best day ever. Yeah, hopefully you're into the phrases. Feel free, I'm always open to, yeah, more phrases or just a different verbiage, that sort of thing. I like best day ever as well, so we can actually use that. Let's use best day ever. Happy Friday is good as well. Yeah, no, forget it. Let's do Happy Friday. That's what we're going to do. So we can do this a number of ways. I'm actually going to just kind of show you a couple things, because in Illustrator, and let me just copy this and put this on a new layer. Right, there we are. So oftentimes you'll duplicate one, you'll have maybe your original, but we'll go in here and we can take a look at our fonts. You probably know how this goes. Sean, welcome back from a walk. Doesn't that sound nice? Happy Friday. I want this to be obviously fun, so we're looking for a rounded font. It could be a script-based font. I don't want to get too calligraphic, but we could also dive into the decorative, right? And we can kind of roll through all these fonts to see what I have currently on my desktop, right? This one's pretty good. Benny Black, I'm into it, right? But also I typically point out wordmark it. So wordmark.it. So happy Friday, typing that in. And these are all the fonts on my desktop. So yeah, so here now I can see that text in all the fonts on my desktop. So rather than me dealing with this small window, right, it's okay. We've gone from this small window to something that is full screen, showing me all the fonts, and then I can kind of jump in and see what looks good. Oh yeah. Hoffler is not bad. Yeah, I don't have that many exciting fonts on my laptop. Right, but yes, we are getting into a happy Friday, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm showing your fonts. You could show Google fonts, all that fun stuff. We could actually go to sort of dark mode, like so. Yeah, that's like all right. Let's jump into Adobe fonts, because that's actually where I want to head next. Okay, so again, I have one font, and this is what you'll end up with. You'll have something like this, you'll have something else, and we'll kind of start with like where it was and where it's going, right? And again, let's jump out here. Let's go to Browse Fonts. Mr. Booth's in the house. I'm going to go to Fun or Funky. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Best day ever. Come on now. Look at this stuff. Blow up. I'm into this one. It's so interesting that this one is like the... Yeah, that baseline, they've shifted the baseline a lot. Usually that's my job as the designer. What about Papyrus? You're hired! Stephen Booth, you are hired. Based on your font prowess alone. This is one I already have loaded up, and it is awesome. Sutura is so cool, right? So again, we'll just start adding some fonts. HWT Mardell, right into it. We'll work with a couple of these. You guys get the idea. Oh, look at this one. Yeah. Wait, did I just deactivate this one? We want to activate Synthemesc. Let's do that. Let's jump in here. Boom, boom. Clear this out. Synthemesc. Boom. Happy Friday. You guys get the idea. Let's type in some more things I want to do. Best day ever as well. Best day ever. Just like that. And again, we have Happy Friday. Couple phrases I'm going to work on. I'm going to work through this pretty fast. I have more than just this style that I want to work with. Yeah, you know what? It's so funny. I'm refinancing and I don't know what you'd call them. The person that's dealing with all the technical papers, which is very official documents, sent me an email in Comic Sans the other day. And I was like, what is going on here? Okay, so this is cool. Let's take Best Day Ever. SU. Oh yeah, Sutra Fat. Ugh, love it. We could play with this. Let's have some fun, people. Let's give it a stroke of a color. Right, you get the idea. All right, I'm not crazy about this. All right, we'll go with that. Looks like Happy Meal. Let's work with this one and kind of talk about some of the things you're going to run into. All right. Let's do a color in here. Okay, and let's give it a stroke. So this happens. This has ever happened to you guys? Groovy fonts, man. Yeah, totally, Jessica. But look what happens. This ever happened to you? It's like basically, if I just remove that, look at what happens to my strokes inside of this. This doesn't work. This one actually should flow into the next one. So what people will typically do is they'll break apart their text, they'll outline it, and then they'll turn it into a shape and then do a whole thing. Like, you don't need to do that, because this is what people would do. It's like, okay, they're like, okay, I'll take this, boom, oh, I want that to connect. Well, let's outline it. They'd go through this whole process, right? And then they would go ahead and do a pathfinder, and now it's connected. But I broke it apart at that point. What does in the house mean? Oh, great question. All right. Usually means, hey, so-and-so's in the house. Means it's time to get the party started. All right, so let's go in here. Let's go ahead and add a fill. So this time I'm going to add that same fill color, right? And what we do now, so if I have this stroke, let's just give this stroke, make it, you know. There we go. Let's just make it this color for fun. So we still have this issue. It's because this stroke in the appearance panel is on top of the fill. But if I take this down below, I'll drag it below that, and now you can see it actually puts it behind. So that's basically what I want to do. Ooh, let's do a purple, right, and crank that up. So now I didn't break the text apart, and yeah, I can always edit it because I'm going to need to. All right. There we have it. Let's move that off to the side, right? Best day ever. I might want to... I might play with this a little bit more. I'm not sure on the color. I might need help with that. Maybe I'll throw a gradient in there. Wait for it. It's just, we want a simple highlight. And let's do negative 90 degrees. There we are. Okay, so we'll just keep something like that. Does that work out pretty well? Okay, so that works out pretty well. Again, this is no longer edited. I can add as many of these strokes as I want. As I go down here, hey, let's add another stroke. Boom. Right? We'll bring it down underneath all these other ones. We'll increase the size. We'll change that to like blue or some other color, right? Yeah, excuse me. You could see what it's doing. It's kind of doing the obvious, right? So we just start stacking them one on top of the next. Oh, it does kind of remind you of old school rap. Oh, we'll work on something more modern shortly. Let's go ahead and play with this a little bit more, right? So let's go ahead and bend this. Okay, so we want this to kind of be bent a certain way. A lot of you, this is old school stuff, right? We have this little make envelope, and then we can make with mesh. But let's go ahead and click right there. We'll use these warp options. We're warping best, right? Ever so slightly, say 16 degrees. And then I could do the same for these others. It actually remembers your last settings. Boom, boom, boom. Again, I'm trying to get as many of these done as I can, right? So there we go. Best day ever. Yeah. Yeah, it does. You know, I was actually watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air the other day because it's on HBO now. Let's go ahead and do a drop shadow. Why not? Take this down, my friend, by 3. Take this down to 3 as well. Take this down to 20%, right? So we're just making it pop off just a little bit, and we have some fun type there. Cool. Okay, so does that work out pretty well? I think that works. Happy Friday. That one's okay. You know, I'm not crazy about that font. I like this font much better, right? So again, I would just lock this up too as well. Ba, ba. Do some sort of type lockup like this. Bam, bam. And guess what? So since I have this created, by the way, so I have this style created, I'll select this one. Ooh, it enveloped it. Let's just take this out. Let's copy this. Let's go back out here. I just kind of want to jump in here and just grab this text. This is all I want, because I just want the lines. I don't want the envelope distort at all, right? Oh, this is fun. Ah, what am I doing? Go away. Go away, Zoom. There we go. Oh, brother. Come on, buddy. Bring it back. Okay, hold on one second. What I wanted to do is just kind of point out, once you have an appearance set up, just like I did, right? We'll go with purple. We'll move this down. Bear with me, everyone. We'll do this one more time. Just, See, I never use the, I hate that. Let's move that up. And what is this? Photoshop? Okay. Better. Sorry about that, everyone. That was driving me nuts. Pink. There we go. Appearance panel. There we have this style. Have that done. I'm going to go ahead and add this as a graphic style. I'm going to go over for this one as well. So this has an envelope distort. This has a drop shadow. It has the strokes, all that fun stuff. And I can add that one as well. Since everything actually isn't in this appearance panel, it only will put down that drop shadow. So just pointing out, sometimes when you add things to graphic styles, it places whatever's in your topmost in your appearance panel. If it's caught up inside of the contents of this, then yeah, it's not going to work out as well. But nonetheless, that's how you can create these graphic styles, and then we can have some fun with it. As we go down to Happy Friday, let's select this. Let's go to our graphic styles right here. Let's try the one we just made, clicking on it. Right, pretty straightforward. I have some more in here, right? So let's take a look at some. These two are just like a couple of my favorite ones, right? Actually, here's one, has given it so many strokes, and let me just do this really fast. Pro tip, you ready for this, Sean, Fury, Mike, Biola, everyone? You probably know about checking and unchecking this box in preferences. So at this point, I don't want to scale strokes and effects. The strokes and effects, and this happens all the time when you apply layer styles, because sometimes you didn't make these graphic styles, right? And they come in all wonky, right? Well, just uncheck scale strokes and effects, and then you can scale up everything like I'm doing right now. Scaling that up. Zoop. And this is what I want. I want it at this size. The strokes look good, maybe a touch smaller, right? And now I can go back into preferences, into scale, stroke, and effects. And at this point, I can scale down all those strokes and effects. And I have everything at the right size, and now the font's back to the right size. Yeah, we do, designers do tend to, we do font shame, don't we? We do it. I know we do. Let's take some more phrases. We have plenty of good ones in here. By the way, look what it just added. Let's move this back down. Just added like, there are 4 or 5 strokes here in this. All different sizes, all got scaled down. You get the idea. I want to change the fill though, because I like this nice gradient that we made. There we go. Number 2, done. Boom, boom. Let's play with some more text. All right. Okay. Boom. How's everybody doing today? You guys doing good? Is it a happy Friday for you? Let's add some more of these. Yeah, practice. Boom, look at that. Same process. Since I have my type so small, again, I'll scale up the type. There we go. Now I can see that effect much better. And how small is this? Here's another thing I'll do. Like, disregard your page size. It doesn't matter. Just hide the artboards, right? We just want this to be all lovely white. Scale that up like so. Even larger. And since this is a variable concept font, let's actually jump in here. I'm going to make this all caps. Just by clicking this flyout button, bam, it's now all caps. Also, let's change the weight. It's a variable concept font. Let's make it much thicker. And now you can see that pattern like inside of there. All right, how are you guys? Yeah, they did. There was a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion that they had as well. Okay, there we are. We have practice with all these graphic styles. I'd say that looks good. I've scaled everything down, actually. I can actually make this a new layer effect like so. We know it's all about practice, right? Practice. And practice. Those don't quite have the same style. Let's go with that. Practice, practice, practice. Cool. Easy. Done. Am I gonna do... Yeah, Michelle, feel free to hit me up if you guys have questions. Okay. Happy to answer them. That's what we're here for, so fire away. Practice, practice, practice. Let's have some more fun with this, by the way. I want to get into some more this is all about typography manipulation. Let's grab Feel the Love, right? Let's feel the love. Let's paste this right over here. And have some fun with this. We'll do the same thing. Feel the love this time. In fact, I don't know, do we need another fun font? I'll try this synth font again. Let's go next. Oh, you're up till midnight. Oh, hey, I still think you're spending your time wisely. Oh, I'm just into these, right? Oh no, Blaze Face. That's that name of that font. We'll try Oh no, Blaze Faced, and we're going to do the italic version, right? So let's go back in here. OH. Boom, there it is. Oh, that's interesting. I usually don't see, fonts that have a point size in here. So that is fascinating. That is so fascinating. Okay, so we'll take this. Let's play with this, folks. Let's change the color. Let's go ahead and grab a heart really fast. I'm going to use Noun Project. Oh, you could, yeah, great point. You could hold the tilde key to scale patterns and not the art. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if it works for more than one pattern in the stack as well. But like you're just mentioning, as I grab a heart real fast, let me just jump out here, just using the Noun Project, copy this, paste it in here, right? You've done this before, right? We have our lovely heart. We'll add new fill, and for that fill, we will give it a pattern. Like you can see all these little dots, right? Let's add one more pattern like you're saying. This one will be lines. Ooh, if I could even... No. There we go. Hearts and lines. There's two patterns in here now, right? Go over to your scale tool, hold down the tilde key and click and drag. And right now it's not constrained. You should be able to constrain it by holding the shift key. We'll scale it down. It did it with this pattern that I had selected. Let's try to select both patterns. Tilde key, scale it. Oh, geez. Help me. Get out of here. Okay, so let's actually not have any, let's see if I can, maybe I don't have any patterns selected whatsoever. Or maybe I have both of these. Tilde key, scale down, and yeah, it looks like it just scales the top one. Okay, let's do something else there. We want to go ahead and scale it. By the way, that also works for the rotation tool. If I decide I want to rotate this pattern, tilde key, rotate, and now we're rotating those lines like so. Okay, so kind of line that up. Also, you should be able to move it. So, tilde key, move. Oh yeah, tilde key, select your move tool, and now I'm kind of moving that down and lining it up as best as possible. It's not perfect. And also, you could just double click, and right in here you can go into when you double click on rotate, transform, scale, those different tools, you could turn off everything. And at this point, I want to bring it back to 0. We can just transform the patterns, click OK, and it should have done it. Did I not have it selected? Maybe I didn't have it selected. Double click 0, and that should do it. Anyways, I don't even want these patterns here in the first place. Let's get rid of them. That was a fun little diversion. We have our lovely heart, right? We have our text. For this text, I'll actually just keep it at, I don't know, black or blue. This is going to hurt our eyes, right? And at this point, I could do a couple things. Let's send that to the back. All right, so here we have this situation. And for this text, what I can do is I can distort it by using something like make with mesh or distort with mesh, right? So we could do that. We can give it 1 row, 1 column, right? Like that. Let's give it 2, actually. 2 rows, 2 columns. So we're splitting it right there. We're not doing anything too drastic. I'll click OK, and now we can start to bend this into place, right? Like so, right? You can start to bend this into place like I'm doing. To get this just right. Spicy is a fun font. Oh, I'm into it. I'll have to check it out. Sounds like it would be a fun font. Okay, so we'll make this bottom one with mesh as well. Click OK, and we can bend this into place. Right? Pretty easy. Let's undo that. Let's undo that. Here's something else we could try out. You ready for this? We'll select this text. I'll put it behind everything. So I'm going to put it behind this heart. And then I'll select both objects. Actually, I have all 3 objects selected. But now I can go to Object. And rather than doing a... so this is what I was doing. I was doing an envelope distort. So I made it with warp, I did it with a mesh, and now we'll make it with the top object. Okay, so take that font, morph it with that top object, and sure enough, it does exactly what we thought it was going to do. And again, can look pretty cool. We want to obviously edit this, so we'll just double click, and now we're inside of this object. Now we can move this up. Oop, maybe not everything. Make sure you have just one thing selected. But now I'm moving love up like that, and I can also make it larger. Zoop. Feel the love, just like that. Right, we need the heart behind it, so let's just grab it right over here. Put that behind. Like so. You get the idea. Right, feeling the love. For this, I would probably throw a bunch more strokes on it and try that. Or maybe just like that. Is that hard to read? The THE gets a little tough to read. It's all good. Let's grab this guy. Maybe we'll change this to yellow. Nah, that's good. Robzilla, happy Friday to you as well, my friend. Just clicking away. There we go. Sure, why not? Oh, you said happy Friday here. Happy Friday, Rob. Zilla. That's for you. Right? We're basically making a bunch of fun graphics. And I will continue to make more of these. Yeah, Sally Jane. Good question. Sally, welcome. That font. And again, I haven't outlined any fonts yet, which is great. If we take a look, this one is called Oh no, Blazeface. Oops, so sorry about moving that around so much. Oh no, Blazeface. So there you go. All right, let's yeah, you guys get the idea. Scale up these things. There we go. Happy Friday, best day ever. Feel the love. We're learning so much. All right, we have this one. We also have this one. If you want something that's easier to read, there's that one. Right, cool thing is we can jump in here, hit I for eyedropper, and then go ahead and select that other object. Or just copy it up there. There we go. Couple different ones there. Cool. Cool. Oh no, Blazeface. Can we all agree the hardest thing about fonts is like remembering the font name? Like when I'm out here, by the way, searching for fonts, and then I'll activate the font and I'll immediately forget the name of the font. I'm like, what the heck was that? Okay, so if you do that, by the way, oh yeah, look at this. Gene Moderno. Gene Moderno, we will activate all of these because these seem amazing, right? And then we'll jump in here and we will take another word. There we go. Right in here. Now this should work, but right in here, show recently added. Click right there. It should give me the recently added, and also make sure this is cleared out. But it should have Gene Moderno in here. And I don't know why it's listing pretty much everything. It's almost like this isn't working. Show activated fonts. That's too many. All right. What is happening now? I do not know. All right, cool. You get the idea. I'm going to jump in here really fast, do this, bam, bam, make a different version, all caps. Not a great font for all caps. All right, let's move on, actually. I want to create some other stuff, because I think I've exhausted this. Yeah, I think Comic Sans is probably the official font of the Resistance. Sure, why not? There we are, smile. You get the idea. Done, done, done. All right, let's move on to something else, because I want to actually do something that has motion with it. So we'll type in motion. Oh, let's actually do some more fun things. You ready for this? So this is all about type manipulation. You really want to, you don't want to pick a font just to pick a font because you like it. You should actually pick it with a purpose, right? So it actually, you should be able to pretty much tell what the text says just by the font you used, right? So we could have fun with that. We could take something like punk, for instance, and this one we're just gonna really kind of go nuts with, if that's all right. Let's take this word punk. There we are. We'll pick a loud font for this. It's gonna be decorative. Oh yeah, this is pretty cool. Duplicate it. And I could go through and pick a font, and you know, it should actually say punk basically, but I kind of want to go with a regular font, so just what I had earlier, or even this one, doesn't really matter. But let's just take a regular font. We're going to make it thick. We're going to decrease the width. We're going to make it all caps. There we go. And from here, we can go ahead and make this punk. In this case, I actually need to outline it. Right? I was getting crazy with text warping. What's up, Talon? It's good to see you, man. Yeah, we're going to get crazy. So this whole time, and most of the time, even when you're manipulating text, you don't need to break it apart. I also want to point out the touch type tool. So we'll select the touch type tool. And from here, we can kind of just offset these letters like I'm doing right now. Right? We could rotate them, do all sorts of things without breaking it up. So you want to do what you can without breaking up the text, just like I'm doing right now. Okay, that's the touch type tool, right? Technically made for touchscreens, but this works out fantastic. So nice. Let's take this text. I have this text. At some point, you might have to break it apart, right? So here we go. Let's go ahead and do that. Type. When I say break apart, I mean create outlines. Boom. There we are. And now we can have some fun with it. All right. Who's making money off of GameStop? Huh? Who's doing it? All right. So we have this broken apart. Now we can have some fun with it. I love these tools in here. Like, I didn't use them for years. They go unnoticed. They're hidden behind the ever-popular width tool. But hey, let's take a look at the warp tool. Twirling, pucker bloating, all these fun things. We'll take the warp tool initially. We could see the size of my brush in here, right? And if I double click on that tool, I get the warp tool options. So you can see the size of the brush is pretty large, but also I can control it by holding down the option key. I can control the size, but I also want to be aware of the intensity. So typically the intensity is really what you want to keep an eye out for. But we'll just kind of leave this at the defaults. We'll pull this up and you can see what's happening here, right? We're sort of creating and manipulating these letters like I'm doing right now, okay? So that's what that does. We could, for this, actually I might just want to pull up a little bit of this side, maybe right in here. We'll hold on the option key like I said, shrink this down, we'll grab this, pull that up a little bit, maybe the K on this side, pull that up, not too much. And then let's go into something like Crystallize. Right, let's see what happens when we crystallize this or scallop it as well. So crystallize, there we go. That's what I want to do is like pull that out and make it look like little spikes, right? So again, that's all I'm really going for. All right, no big deal. Typically, you can mess with the all the inside letters. Be a little leery if you're gonna mess with the first or last letter because you could easily make it illegible. All right. There you go. Punk rock. There you go. Starts to look like pink if you stare at it long enough. Oh, you did a whole campaign using warp type. That sounds awesome, Talon. Totally into it. And again, I'm totally into pushing things around with these tools. If you really want to do some distortion, this makes everything really fun, right? If we wanted to take the word motion like we had before, right? Super easy. We'll take that, create outlines. We'll go into our warp tool, right? And now we can start to maybe pull this down. Let's really crank this up. This is going to be fun. Let's crank this up to like 90. And let's make this smaller. We'll just do 40. Okay, so we've cranked this up to 90. Now we can sort of pull that down, kind of making it look like, and I still need to make this brush even smaller, huh? There we go. Really pull that down even more. Let's pull it down even more. Let's crank this intensity up to 100. There we go. Shoo. 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 You get the idea. Motion. We're saying, hey, how can we depict motion? It actually looks like it's more like dripping. Okay, so we would have to fix that, don't you think? Don't you think, Talon? I gotta fix that. There you are. Create outlines, and we can just have some fun. Because that's all we're doing today, is we're just having fun with type. I'm really gonna start distorting it in here. Let's make this brush maybe a little bit larger. Look at that. Okay, is it still legible? Does it still say motion? Maybe not. Maybe I did it a little bit too much. Again, just being mindful of what parts of the letter I can really distort and which ones I can't, right? So, the M gets a little lost. That's okay. Let's play with this some more, shall we? Let's do motion again. I have time. I'm so happy to have 15 minutes. This is great. We could even animate texts because we're going to do motion. Let's pick a different fun font. Let's pick, we're just going to go for Futura. And why? There we go. Let's clear that out. Come on, Futura. Let's do that. Boom, boom. Bam. Bam, 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 bam. There we go. Let's go with this text here. Make this a little larger. Give us some room. Let's have some room in here, okay, shall we? Duplicating that. And we'll go with this. Okay, cool. Let's have some fun. You ready for this? Yes, tools do always work better with sound effects. Do you ever notice how you end up doing that? It's always so interesting. Right, okay. Well, let's change the color of this layer. I'm sorry. I'm gonna make sure we can easily see these outlines. All right, right in here. Let's do this really fast. Bam, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. Let's ungroup these. You're gonna release compound path, right? Typically when you break apart text or outline it, you then gotta go through the process of ungrouping it and releasing compound paths, because there might be a lot going on in there, right? So that's what I'm kind of taking a look at, playing with some of this. Let's chop this up. Let's have some fun, huh? Today. Let's have some fun. Here's a pro tip, by the way. You ready for this? Do you guys ever do this? Like, you'll have a shape. If I try to draw a marquee box around the inside of this, it's not going to work. Like, I'll end up selecting the outside line. All I want to do is select the inside circle. Even when I try to select the inside circle, it selects this part right here. So if you use your direct selection tool, just click once and then select your selection tool. Bam! And now what that does is that selects the whole object, and then you can shrink it down. Okay, cool, cool. Bam, bam. Does anybody know what I'm gonna be doing? Release compound path. Let's have some fun with this. All right, gang, let's make this pink. Oh, let's flip it. Let's fix this color situation. Let's throw some color in there. Oh, why do I always do that? There we go. Actually, let's take all of this. Let's make it a little bit thicker, like so. And then I'm just going to use the blend tool, right? So from here to here, let's do that. Blend tool. Bam, bam. Right? Oh, that is way too much. Let's go in here. Specified steps of maybe like 4. Right? That actually looks kind of cool. Ooh, clever. You use that trick as well. Awesome. Very cool. I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool when I don't know. It's like one of those things you realize that you do that maybe other people maybe do or don't do, and it's always comforting when you find somebody else that does it the same way. You're like, oh, I'm not such a weirdo after all. All right. Let's do this a couple more times. Why not? Blend it. Bam. Oh, let me actually change the color first. We'll play with like a couple different colors in here. Why not? Get it? All right. Blend tool. Click. Click. Fix it. All right. Yeah, Talon, let's do an Illustrator stream. That would be fun. Let's do it. Okay, so this one will be interesting. Let's take this out. This is just going to produce an interesting shape that I don't know what I kind of know what's going to happen, but let's just eliminate both those sides. Let's grab this one here. Let's do this with purple. Oh, are those grouped somehow? Yes, they are. Release compound path, right? Obviously compound path because both things change at the same time. Let's do that. Taking these guys and then click, click. Do that dance. All right. Sorry this is taking so long, huh? Such is our life. I knew it would do something like that. I'm not crazy about it. That would be fun. Talon. Let's do it, Talon. Why not? Number of ways around this. Like I could change the shape of it. I can add other points to it. All sorts of things. There's our T. It still reads as a T. I don't have that kind of time, guys. I just need to keep moving. You guys get the idea. I just want to keep moving here. Let's try yellow. Yellow's probably not going to stand out enough. All right, let's just do those two. There you go. And if you're just joining me, by the way, I'm covering design pro tips, right? A lot of times that's going to be Illustrator. By the way, I haven't even opened up my iPad. I can do this on my iPad as well, all except for the blend tool. Don't worry, that's easily coming. Yeah, everything else I could actually done on my iPad. Why didn't I, by the way? Silly me. I did that last week. I did work on my iPad. But anyways, this time let's just jump in. Let's make things happen, huh? We got to get paid. Time to get paid, people. All right, there we go. Works for me. Blend tool. Bam. Bam. There it is. Just to point out what I'm going to do. And you guys, I don't know if you guys have been like following me, but I've been doing this so much. Some of these actually have, looks like there's white in the middle. I could actually take this. I could flip it. Let's just... I actually don't need to, though. Direct selection tool will allow you to change this without actually going into the object. So I can change that one, go in here, select this inside one, change it to purple, or whatever. Definitely got a color scheme going on here. I don't know. That's okay. Yeah, gotta love the blend tool. So from here, we could have so much fun with this, right? We could take this. I would actually duplicate it. I would mix this up so much more, right? It's like, hey, how can I do this? Like, do I put this TI down here? How much can I actually change this or move this content around and still have it legible as saying motion is kind of the case. I'm not crazy about this T and I. I'm going to go ahead and turn on what I was working on before. So I actually have done this already. So let's go to some of these versions that I've made already. So this is what I wanted. I want this, right? This looks much better. Motion, right? All using the blend tool, right? We know it's using the blend tool. I will do Command Y. We can see the number of those shapes. There we go. Right? We can expand those. We could take this content now as well. You ready for this? Let's animate. And by the way, I probably sound like a broken record. I've been doing this so much lately. It's ridiculous. But let's go in here. Let's make this, you know, even larger. Why not? And in After Effects, I'm going to take this. Talon, I don't know if you know about this, but I've been using this lately too. This Overlord allows you to push graphics from Illustrator to After Effects. So push selection to After Effects. Boom. Pushes it in there. Oh, I guess I didn't need to make it that large. But here it is. Here's my content like so. And let's change the size of this. There we go. Oops. Ah. There we go. So there's our content. Make it a little larger, space all this stuff out, right? And now I can start to work on animating it, which would be my next step, right? Because what does each one of these contain? Oh, a bunch of lines. Let's go down here for this M. Let's twirl this down. What does it contain? Oh, let's look at the contents. Oh, there's all those fun groups. Let's animate it. Again, I've done this so many times. You're probably so sick of it. Overlord is a great name, isn't it? Trim paths, right? So we're going to trim up that path. So let's twirl this down. Start and end point. So I'm going to drag this to the middle. Add keyframes. Go to the beginning. Adjust. Zip, zip. Just like that. And now let's watch that M kind of animate through. It will do this, by the way. I don't know why one line will be going the opposite direction. So you do need to find that line, which happens to be this one. And here you have your path direction. So this is your path direction. I just need to flip it. I don't know why it throws that one off, but now we kind of have that animating in like so. All right? Was that easy or was that easy? Let's do that a couple more times. Let's take this down to 0, so we'll have it animate out. We will add some easy ease, because why not? And now we have it kind of animate in, and then it will animate out. I actually don't like the easing. I think this works just fine like that. Cool. We could always speed it up, all that fun stuff. All right, done and done. Copy. Paste. Oops, I always do that. Anytime I paste something, I'm always doing that. I forget about the playhead. Paste. Just make sure it's at the beginning. Hit U. There we go. We have the O done. Let's do the T. Let's just select all these and hit paste. Right, there we are. Zoom out. It's not going to be perfect, but for the 2 minutes I have to go, you know, it does a pretty good job. Look at that. Look at how fancy that is. Motion. Right, select them all, hit U. There they all are. I probably want to stretch them out or offset them. I'll probably want to offset these a little bit so they read in one character at a time. One, and then the next, and then the next. Let's do that. There we are. Right? How do I make it loop? I'm not really looping it. I'm just playing it and it automatically loops. Lots of things to change here, but you guys get the idea. Output it. I'll probably output this to... I might put this on Instagram later on, but you guys get the idea. That's the power of vector, as you know, Talon and Afroja and Clever. It's like, hey, once something's in vector form, Like I feel like everything starts in Illustrator. Everything else is just like a plugin for Illustrator. It's like, here, take this After Effects. Yeah, it's a vector. Hey, guess what? You know how to deal with it, right? We could bring all this stuff into Photoshop as well and other apps. If it's vector, we could lathe it. If we were in Cinema 4D, we could do more things. This could actually be a 3D version. But you guys get the idea. Thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Sam and Talon and Michelle and my friends out there, fellow coworkers and designers. Just appreciate you guys. It's going to be a fun day. Lots of master classes, and we got a full day planned. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. I'm just going to probably disappear for a little bit as I start to work more on these. But by the way, I'm going to take things to the next level because I'm going to be doing some surreal work in Photoshop in about 90 minutes. So that's what's happening. Stick around for Terry White's going to be up next. And then we have daily creative challenges as well. All right, everybody, take care. And we will see you all very soon. So thanks so much, everyone. See ya.